Okay, sorry, welcome. Thank you for coming today. And I hope that you will make this another one. Hello, welcome. Well, thank you so much for coming. We hope very much that we'll be seeing you on a regular basis. Okay. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Bhakti Founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. So, this present verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's from the first canto, 5th chapter, 18th verse. If you have one of your devices, so it's 1:5:18. And I'll just go ahead and read the Sanskrit and the word by word translation of the report and speak a few words. And this was a verse that His Divine Grace of Prabhupada spoke about this very verse in one of his visits to New Vrindavan. So, again, 1:5:18. Tasya eva hetu pranita kovida mulavya umatam upayada avidya anyata sukham bhave sarvatra brahmasa. So, Tasya, does it say Tasya? For that purpose. Eva. Only. Eto. Reason. Prayatita. Should endeavor. Kavida. One who is philosophically inclined. Nalabhyate. Not obtained. Yat. What? Brahmatam. Wondering. Upare ata. From top to bottom. Tat. That. Labhyate. Can be obtained. Dukhavat. Like the mysteries. And have yanyata. As a result of previous work. Sukham. Sense enjoyment. Kalena. In course of time. Sarvatra. Everywhere. Davira. Settle. Brahmasa. Promise. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time, just as in course of time we obtain miseries, even though we do not desire them. We can repeat this. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time. Just as in course of time, we obtain miseries, even though we do not desire them. Divine Grace. Every man, everywhere is trying, means every person. Here, when Prabhupada would use the word man, it wasn't necessarily in terms of gender. So in this case, people, all people, every man, every person, everywhere is trying to obtain the greatest amount of sense enjoyment by various endeavors. Some men, some people are busy engaged in trade, industry, economic development, political supremacy, etc. And some of them are engaged in fruitive work to become happy in the next life by attaining higher planets. I sometimes wonder nowadays if any of us ever think about obtaining happiness in our next life. Is that even on our radar? It is said that on the moon, the inhabitants are fit for greater sense enjoyment, either by drinking somaras, and the Pritaloka is obtained by good charitable work. So there are various programs for sense enjoyment, either during this life or life after death. Some are trying to reach the moon or other planets by some mechanical arrangement, for they are very anxious to get into such planets without doing good work. But it is not to happen. By the law of the Supreme, different places are meant for different grades of living beings according to the work they have performed. It's like you maybe have different neighborhoods in the state or in the area of Detroit, different neighborhoods. And according to the endeavors you've made, are the endeavors you make, you may live in a better neighborhood, moderately okay neighborhood, or a very degraded neighborhood. So in the same way, the different planetary systems accommodate people with different desires, different tastes, different attitudes. By the law of the Supreme, different places are meant for different grades of living beings according to the work they have performed. By good work only, as prescribed in the scriptures, one can obtain birth in a good family, opulence, good education, and good bodily features. We see also that even in this life, one obtains a good education or money by good work. Similarly, in our next birth, we get such desirable positions only by good work. Otherwise, it would not so happen that two persons born in the same place at the same time are seen differently placed according to previous work. But all such material positions are impermanent. The position of the topmost Brahmaloka and in the lowest Patala are also changeable according to our work. The philosophically inclined person must not be tempted by such changeable positions. One should try to get into the permanent life of bliss and knowledge, where one will not be forced to come back again to the miserable material world, either in this or that planet. Miseries and mixed happiness are two features of material life, and they are obtained in Brahmaloka and other lokas also. They're obtained in the life of the demigods, and also in the lives of dogs and hogs, in other words, animal life. The miseries and mixed happiness of all living beings are only of different degrees and quality. But no one is free from the miseries of birth, death, old age, and disease. That's a mantra you'll hear quite often. Birth, death, disease, and old age. Similarly, everyone has his destined happiness also. No one can get more or less of these things simply by personal endeavors. And even if they are obtained, they can be lost again. One should not therefore waste time with these flimsy things. One should only endeavor to go back home, back to Godhead. And that should be the mission of everyone's life. Namo Vishnu Vadaya Krishna Prasaya Vijay Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namade Namaste Saraswati Bhavani Prasadi Vishesha Sanyamadi Namaste Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Harisadhya Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. So, a very great ancient sage, Narada is advising his student, Vyasadeva, who is actually the compiler of Vedic literature, and specifically after doing all that, he compiled Srimad Bhagavatam. So here Narada Muni is advising Vyasadeva, Tasyaiva hito parayam hita kovida. So this kovida means kids don't like philosophy. Even we, if we're going to be honest, we might even say we don't like it so much either. But we need to, like sometimes your mother will give you some food and you don't like it. She goes, "It's good for you. You must eat it." So our Krishna consciousness philosophy is good for us, and we have to hear it. That is our program. And eventually, we might even develop a taste for it. How many people here like Karela? A few. How many like jackfruit? A few. But maybe when you first taste, I love both of them. But when I first tasted them, a little strange. But I kept eating it. And then I began to really love it. Now I really love it. But we have to develop a taste. In the same way, we need to develop a taste for hearing the topics concerning Krishna. And that's what the Bhagavatam offers to us. So what happened was Vyasadeva had compiled all the Vedic literatures and was feeling very despondent. I'm sure many of you know this, background. And then his guru, noticing that, he gave him some advice. Because up until that point, he hadn't developed Bhagavatam. And the Vedic literatures, they concern a wide variety of topics. And they don't always appear to be connected to Krishna. And even in some cases, Krishna is not specifically mentioned. But because of this, Vyasadeva was feeling despondent because he had not connected clearly all this knowledge to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Narada Muni was, as the guru, was correcting this defect. And he explained that this kovida means intelligent or expert, one who knows things as they are. So one who is intelligent should try to achieve that thing which is not available. It's not so even by wandering up and down, here and there, I'll explain. So it's actually our duty, as indicated by Narada Muni, to how to achieve full Krishna consciousness. So that is the statement of the Bhagavatam, and that is the peculiar position of the Bhagavatam, is trying to connect us to Krishna and showing us how to do that. So this don't try for so-called economic development, because actually we cannot obtain more than is our destiny, no matter how hard we try. Prabhupada said it's already settled up. And that's what these different standards of living conditions, they're all there according to our past karma, pramana. It's nature's law, we can't change it. Material enjoyment, it's basically meaning this eating, sleeping, mating, defending. We hear that. So material, the difference is the difference in standard. Like, I may be eating something, you're eating something. Like some of us, we really like Kerala and jackfruit. The other people, So difference of opinion. In my calculation, your eating isn't so good. But in your calculation, my eating isn't so good. But the activity is the same. This is the eating. We've created this good standard. That's a good standard. That's a bad standard. This is nice. That's bad. It says, Samana. This is good, this is bad, but actually it's the same thing. As explained in the Bhagavad Gita, this Chitoshna Sukha. It's due to the skin that we're sometimes feeling warm, like today, it's really pleasant. Due to this type of feeling on the skin. Sometimes very cold, due to the feeling on the skin. Material nature, the same thing. And our feelings of so-called happiness and distress is just like this warmth and cold, temporary, due to the skin, due to the body, happiness and distress, due to the mind. And Krishna further emphasizes Dukhalayam Aswasvatam, 8:15. Prabhupada quoted that quite a bit. It wasn't like he was trying to depress us. He was trying to convince us if we don't know what is what, then we're not going to be able to make the changes and adjustments necessary to give ourselves a perfect life. So this Jakalayama Shashvatam, this place is full of misery, not this place is temple in the material world. And it's described, this is actually our mental creation, this happiness and distress. Prabhupada said, actually it's all distress. Why? Anybody want to guess why is it all distress? One reason. They have to die. No matter what, that's at the end of the nothing, they have to die. Anyway, we have to finish this business. So Bhagavatam says, don't bother yourself trying to be happy by working day and night without trying for Krishna consciousness. It's a waste of time. We have to work, especially, hey, you're all grihastas here, very few brahmacharis. That means responsibility. Doesn't mean you get to ditch your family and Haribo. No, you take care of your family. And you can, the whole family together can chant Haribo. But you don't give up your family duty. But what does that family do? You connect to Krishna. This is a human life. And if we execute Krishna consciousness nicely, then in this life we have not to worry about taking repeated birth, death, disease, and all that. We finish it up. Only in human life is that possible. So we shouldn't lose this chance. And another verse in the 5th chapter, so we read 18, so the next verse means 19. In that verse, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes falls down somehow or other, it happens. He certainly doesn't undergo material existence like other people's. And it's explained why. Because a person who has once relished the taste of the lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again. Smaranam makundam karyupanam. It's been seen sometimes, a devotee on one level has been really fixed up, and then somehow or other something happens. But, and he kind of appears to decrease his involvement in Krishna consciousness. Sometimes it may even appear as if there is no more connection. But Bhagavatam explains that once having tasted this lotus feet of the Lord, to the chanting, to the prasad, to the association, to the devotional service, you can't really forget it. You can try, but Krishna is not going to let you forget him. He'll shadow you. He'll be right there behind you, just waiting for you to turn around and remember your dear friend. So Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness is so nice. If once adopted, you will not degrade like an ordinary man. Don't undergo, that's just anyapa. Don't even undergo. Other people, when you become like a tool, becomes like a tool in the hand of material nature. But the Krishna conscious person is not under the jurisdiction of material energy because of having surrendered to Krishna. So the whole stress here is that You take to Krishna consciousness, you preach Krishna consciousness. I mean, this Hare Krishna movement is preaching and teaching. That's the thrust of it. And there's so many activities like today that are there to engage us in remembering Krishna. Where else would you go with piles of flowers and throw them? Would you go out and throw, randomly in the street? No. But we're going to honor Krishna by these piles of flower, which, by the way, this morning there were piles of people pulling little flower petals off, to make up a whole flower. And engage in Krishna consciousness. It's stress. You take to Krishna consciousness, you preach Krishna consciousness some way or other. And whoever you meet, or Chaitanya. He also said like that in Vajralila, Chaitanya Chaitanya, one of our very special folks, Yadi Deki Tamikana Krishna Upadesh. Whoever you meet, you simply try to convince someone, try to convince that person, make them convinced that the importance of Krishna consciousness. This is Mahaprabhu's program. Some way or other, if one takes to Krishna consciousness, your life can become perfected. This perfected life means no more repeated birth and death. You become liberated. So, as I said, Prabhupada spoke on this verse in New Vrindavan. So, that was not the temple we have now. It was the little temple was actually the one he was speaking from. It's you can't see it anymore. They had taken it down to rebuild it to, but somehow the taking down part occurred, but the rebuilding part didn't occur. So there was this one dog that would come every day to the lecture and stand up on his hind legs with his foot on, paws, looking in at Prabhupada speaking. And Prabhupada took note of this dog. And sometimes during the chanting, he'd make little dog sounds, during the kirtan. Prabhupada noted that. So he was in his lecture, just like here, some have got dogs. They're keeping company with devotees, and their dog life is now becoming perfect. It may be some pious person who somehow or other has become a dog. Just like one time in Vrindavan, in Govardhan, at that time I was cooking for Prabhupada, and we all went in a big bus to different spaces, different holy places in the Brajmandal area. So then we went to Govardhan. It wasn't developed like it is now. It was quite simple. It was very simple. And there was the bus stop, and the place we paused. There were two kunds connected. So the idea one kund the men could bathe in, one kund the lady could bathe in. And then Srila Prabhupada would take his customary massage, and after the massage, he would take a bath from a bucket. And then everybody would come together, and our favorite thing to do, Saryara Vijaya, we'd have Prasad. Actually, one time they were singing the Shamsara prayers. The part where the 4 types of food stuff. Prabhupada said, this is the best part. This is the best. So, yeah, coming together with Prabhupada Prasad was very wonderful. So, he was going to take his massage during that period of time. I would be cooking for him. And if we were just going out in Vrindavan, sometimes it was other places. It meant I had no particular kitchen, just I had a little metal trunk with my necessities in it, and I'd find some space, and that's what I would cook. So in this situation, we saw this nice row, it was sort of like a patio, but it was a long row and covered over, and then there was these doors. So Prabhupada very confidently walked up to one of the doors and opened it. And I was watching closely. It's behind the door. Actually, there was nothing behind the door. It was just was kind of like a movie setup, you know, like a facade, but, you know, there was brunch. He goes through, and the server went through, the door closed, so I figured, I guess I'm gonna be cooking on this little veranda. And I think that's what I started doing. And I noticed that I did not have very much atta. And I was a little worried because I'm not such a good chapati maker. So like having less amount of atta meant no room for mistakes. Somehow I got through, you know, I got things ready, but the roti, I could do right at the last minute, so they would be perfectly puffed, hopefully, when he would come out from this massage in his back. So it happened, he came out, and it happened somehow or other, I was ready. And the men sat on one side and ladies on the other, and prasadam appeared out of nowhere for us. I mean, somewhere, but you know, I don't know how it happened. I just was concerned with Prabhupada. So I brought his plate, I put it down, and just at that minute, 2 dogs came up snarling, and they were heading right to Prabhupada. And in those days, particularly, the dogs in Braj were just looking like walking disasters. You know, missing hair, full of sores, tails were kind of broken, ears were chewed up. And so 2 of these poor creatures were coming and snarling, heading right for Srila Prabhupada. And I was just like, what to do? And 2 of the men stood up, and they were sannyasis, they had their sticks. Prabhupada's, and this was happening really fast. And Prabhupada said, down, sit down. And like, so I was like caught in midair. Like, the dogs went right up to him. And he took a roti and he tore it in half. And he, to each dog, and they cut that roti and then it goes, jow, jow. And they just became little sweet dogs, walked away, you know, sweet, ugly little red dogs walked away. And my little brain was thinking, oh my God, I hope I have enough to make, you know. But then he turned and he looked at us on each side and he goes, you know, this is for Dom, this is Brett. You never know who these dogs may be. You know? So here he's saying the same thing, you know, maybe in the past life, you know. But now Krishna's giving him a chance. You don't mean that a pious person, but somehow he became a dog. With the speak of being in Vrindavan, Kama said this same as Vrindavan. So now Krishna's giving them the association of devotees. He's eating prasadam. He's hearing chanting. He's giving service to the devotees, but kept outside. In other words, not in the house. I had that experience when I joined Krishna consciousness, January 67, I had a dog. If you Google on Rath Yatra, Prabhupada arrival, San Francisco 67. So it's a very short clip, but Prabhupada's at the airport, you see these, you know, scraggly people reading him, and then this little dog bounces by, which was our dog, myself and Johnson. So he would come in the temple, sit down inside the door, went on for a few days. And one day we were departing and Prabhupada stopped and we looked at us. Perhaps the dog should stay outside. You know, he was very kindly instructing young people that just didn't know one end from the other. And perhaps the dog should stay outside. And he did. So, Mukunda Sevi, anyone who takes to Krishna consciousness, even if they fall down somehow or other, still we don't suffer like others, which is not a license to fall down. No, it means like, oh, I don't have to worry too much. No. Prabhupada wrote a letter to me, we should take this opportunity now that you come in contact with Krishna consciousness, finish it up in this lifetime, if it's possible. But still, so, you know, it's there. That even if you don't, still, we won't suffer like others. And so then he went on, so like here is the animals under the protection of the devotees, because we were all quite a number of animals. So he has no fear of his life. No devotee will kill the cows, the horses, the big horses at that time were actually instead of bulls, they were using horses because of the hillside, and the whole bulls, they can't walk so easily on the hills, so these horses, they could do it, they were pulling plows. The cows, the horse, the dog, they're assured of their life. They're not ordinary. They're not ordinary dogs, they're not ordinary cows. So therefore, Sridhar Swami says, we couldn't say, even if degraded, devotee, not degraded like an ordinary person. So anyone who's associated with this Krishna consciousness movement cannot forget this rasa bhojana. It's stated that smarnam akundanamuri upaha kanam punar yatum meshanna. So this yatum means to give up. One may fall down by Maya's influence for some time, but cannot give it up. That's the sign, the example's given. Like they use the example of hot sugar cane juice. It's very nice. You know, if you're from India, you know that hot sugar cane juice. He says it's because it's hot, there's a little feeling of discomfort, but you can't put it down. It's sort of like, you know, really hot, spicy chutney. But you can't, it just keep going, you know, can't stop. So this Krishna consciousness is so nice. Even if somebody becomes attracted by some kind of influence by Maya, you cannot give up this Krishna consciousness. That's this specific qualification of a Krishna conscious person. This one who has chanted Hare Krishna cannot give it up. Just come again, this life or the next, and Krishna will not leave. He doesn't leave us. Like I said, he's there, he's shadowing us, he's right behind. So once somebody surrenders sincerely, Krishna, I am yours. I'm yours. Krishna will never leave. He'll never leave us. He'll protect us. And the mind becomes a little stronger. No question of falling down. So everybody repeat with real feeling, Krishna, I am yours. Krishna, I am yours. Krishna, I am yours. Krishna, I am yours. Yes. And the Prabhupada said this, you know, this Krishna Vasi Kriyate means hypnotize. It's so nice that one becomes hypnotized by Krishna. I can't leave you. I don't want to leave you. And he was commenting, these boys and girls, because at that time we were just really young folks, you know. There was nobody, practically speaking, over 30 in the Hare Krishna movement at that time. So boys and girls were working so hard. As a newer daughter, you really worked hard those days. So they're not even paid a penny, nothing. They're qualified. They can easily earn money outside. But they're hypnotized here by Krishna. And they're happily working very hard. And Krishna is so nice. He's all attractive. Just like when these curtains open up, you cannot take your eyes off it. So attractive. He hypnotizes his devotees. He gave the example, like the Pandavas, they were Krishna's friend. Arjuna was his friend. And all the brothers, they were Krishna's friend. Arjuna was his really intimate friend. And Kunti, the Pandava's mother, she was Krishna's aunt. And they were all well established in a relationship with Krishna. But what was the result of that? They were banished for 12 years. They lost. They were banished. The game of dice, they were banished, and Draupadi was insulted. The Pandavas lost their kingdom. So then Narada had a face-to-face meeting with Krishna because he was Krishna's devotee. He could speak a little frankly with a little criticism. My dear Krishna, by becoming your devotee, the Pandavas were very happy. And now they've lost their kingdom. Their wife was insulted and you're all banished for 12 years. Is that a very good thing? No, think about it. But the wonderful thing, then he balanced it. The wonderful thing I see now, in spite of all inconveniences, is your love for you has increased. So Narada was astonished and he asked Krishna, what kind of hypnotism are you doing that in spite of being placed in so much inconveniences, their love for you has increased? So this is Krishna consciousness, that devotees, when even put into difficulty, it's Krishna's grace, they take it that way. Krishna, I had to suffer 100 more times due to bad habits. You just give me a little bit, so it's your grace. Okay, so this is Krishna's grace. We are having a good time today, but if I may appear otherwise at another time, please don't forget. It's Krishna's grace. Shri Shri Radha Gopi Janavallabha Ki Jai. Thank you all again for being here and taking part in this most wonderful occasion. Jai.
So I want you to come on the altar.
Oh no, I'm not altar.
Yeah. I want somebody.
Sorry.
Okay, that's it. So Hare Krishna.
If you
Thank you very much for coming.
If you had told me, I would have prepared.
No, I usually come all the time. That's fine. No, I did a couple of times before. Okay.
Oh yeah. I knew it.
Can finish fast. I got it. You do first 15 minutes. So I request everyone, thank you very much for coming and attending this Sunday Feast program. The unique thing with Sunday Feast program is we are celebrating the deity anniversary, Radha Gopi Janavallabha installation anniversary. Haribo. So this is the 5th anniversary. We completed 4 years, and for 2018, we welcomed them by their causeless mercy, by the request of Malati Prabhu and other request of Malati especially. They have descended from spiritual world, and so we have successfully completed 4 years and into the 5th year. So you are all fortunate to be part of this festival, celebrating this 5th year anniversary of Radha Gopi Janavallabha installation, Brahmotsav. So Ramesh Prabhu and Ritu Mataji, I take only 1 minute. Today's Sunday Feast, they are sponsored. Ramesh Prabhu and Ritu Mataji are here. Ramesh Prabhu. Thank you very much. First, Sandeep Baranwal Prabhu and Sarita Mataji. Sandeep Prabhu and Sandeep Baranwal and Sarita Mataji are here. Please come. Sandeep Prabhu. Sandeep Prabhu's birthday last week.
Haribo!
Okay. Yes, their marriage anniversary also.
Haribo!
And, okay, today's Pushpakshek, we have some sponsors. For sponsors, Venkat Talpurani Program family, they're here. Sujana Mataji, come. Very much for your husband. Come. So one of the family, and the unique thing with the communities is our devotees are our donors. They are all devotees acting sincerely, 16 norms, for a couple of years actually. And also Kadamba Khan Prabhu and Emmanuel Mataji. Thank you very much. Okay. Who is here? Who is here? No. Who is here? Please come. Come. So we have a gift. Malati Prabhu, I don't know how many of you know, she finished more than this 53rd year. 53 years of practice in Hare Krishna, which he came in 1967, right? So Malati Prabhu joined Hare Krishna movement in 1967 February. So she completed 52 years of practice in Bhakti. 55 years. Yeah. So, she's one of the very, very early disciples of Srila Prabhupada. When her daughter was only 6 weeks old, to serve our spiritual master Srila Prabhupada sitting in the lap, she took her 6 weeks old baby with her husband, along with another 2 more couples, to London to open a temple. How many of us can do this type of activity? When your daughter is only 6 weeks old, you don't know where you're going to stay, you don't know whether you'll get milk or not, but she did that, So, such a selfless service of more than 5 decades. Let us give a big applause to Malati. Always want to do keys. And one thing I never forget, I told many times. So she told me one time, my mother asked me, hey, you have only 6 weeks old baby and you're going to London. You don't know where you'll stay. So why don't you leave your baby with me? She said, I know I cannot because I don't know when they'll see you. So I take my baby with me and she'll be part of all the struggles in establishing the movement. Under her spiritual master Srila Prabhupada, she told me that words became true because my mother saw my daughter only after 12 years. How many of you, without showing your daughter to your mother, dedicate yourself to your spiritual master for 12 years? You don't know whether you'll get the milk or not. You don't know whether you'll get. I don't think actually the Ramsar Prabhu and Malati Prabhu never worked actually. And Hare Krishna movement, not only these days, but those days, they were not rich at all. So you have somebody as a standing testimony that bhakti is very satisfying. Irrespective of the facilities, you can still continue bhakti because you have your Guru with you, you have Krishna with you. So Krishna actually did reciprocate with her, and she has been the GBC. Krishna gave her, I cannot say, she got big responsibility actually. She's a GBC for Ohio and Michigan, one more place. So she's today 77-year-old. She is a GBC for Kentucky, Western Pennsylvania, Indiana, and Michigan and Ohio. She goes all over, Best. Alone she tries to establish Krishna consciousness. Now, can you believe we have what is that? Including Grand Rapids, we have 4 centers and 4 temples in Michigan, and they're flourishing under her prayers and under her noble guidance. So we are very, very happy to have her here. Let us express our gratitude to Malati Prabhu. Loudly chanting 3 times Haribol. Prabhu and so Jai Prabhu, he takes time to carve this wonderful, these are carved. He's an engineer. Yeah. Can you see all the Hare Krishna mantra on the top, Hare Krishna prayer, entrance, any carving you've seen Hare Krishna mantra is done by an engineer from Ford for more than 30 years. She's not just a doctor, but she's with the Farmington hospital. She wants to give this gift to Malati Prabhu. So I take this opportunity to all the donors and sponsors. Let us pray for them. You know, today's Sunday is sponsors and no, just
This is all the names of all the deities in the Srila Prabhupada's temples.
so, and let us express our gratitude to the Abhishek donors and today's Sunday sponsors by chanting one time Hare Krishna mantra so that they receive the blessings of their lordships. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 last and very important, this we have been working for a month now. Children, kids, sloka recitation. If you register today, tomorrow onwards, you will get on your cell phone one sloka from Bhagavad Gita, which we want you and your children to memorize, at least recite, and I can send it back so that we'll evaluate. Once in a month, you can all come and recite those verses for the pleasure of their Lordship Radha Govinda. One reason we have started this, I've been trying to grant adverts regularly for so many years. There is a board. Every 10 seconds, one autistic child is born in America. Sanskrit recitation will help cure the mental problems, it is proven. And the Sanskrit recitation of Bhagavad Gita slokas, it will sharpen your intellect and it will strengthen your memory. So for that, this has given proven results in India. So when I heard, I was impressed, and we are starting it from tomorrow. So India, they do only for children, we do for adults also in America. Because everyone has some problem related to mind. So, you know, how do they register? He is the one, you can, you know, only 3 minutes you take out. Very important thing is recite the English version, recite the Sanskrit version. We have to send it back to us, and we'll listen. Any corrections, we'll let you know. But once in a week, you come and recite for the pleasure. But once a month, for sure you should come. Week is optional, but once a month, you bring your child, you recite, your child will recite. I saw the videos of children reciting 100 slokas, not by reading. They memorized it and recited. One child, autistic, could not repeat even one line. So devotee tried. He told in 1 year 100 verses. Father was so impressed. You know, I never thought this will work like anything. When doctors are telling your child has become an autistic child, but this has worked wonders. He's opening a website. So you're all welcome to do this. And Hare Krishna. Anybody new for the first time? Please come. It's a little late, but you know, everyone come fast. Your name, Roshi? Avani, please come regularly. Avani Mataji ki. Kavita Mataji ki jai. Anybody else? More your name? Vidya Mataji ki jai. So I request the newcomers, please do come every week, which is only less than 2% of the week. And this will come with you. And Amma, you need to come there, stand there. Your name? Leela Mataji ki. So thank you very much. Please come regularly. So we'll start the Kirtan. So we have actually Vrindavan Biharini Mataji from Ukraine. She is an initiated disciple of Niranjan Swami, and she has recently moved into the community. Very good singer. Her son plays a great Mridanga. You know, so he's not here, so give her your support. You know, as any other Ukrainians, she's also very distressed. So offer your love and gratitude for her presence. Thank you, Mataji. Start. So last one more point as he is about to start. So at the end, as usual, we will show some petals from the top. But please intensely pray. Those of you who pluck the petals, it's a direct devotional service. You know, you will see them, the petals being offered to Radha Gopiji and Allava. And very important part, you know, take part by singing the Hare Krishna mantra, right? How many of you enjoyed yesterday night? Same thing repeating. Very good. Start. Everyone please come forward so that others can come closer. Come forward. Kids can come forward too. Please come forward. Madhuri was not joining. Champion is on. Vinna is good.
We're not.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Everybody sing. Everybody. Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परम सुराजगाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतक इस डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय विष्णुपाद परम सुराजगाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतक इस डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय विष्णुपाद परम सुराजगाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतक इस डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रीमद् गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज की सच्चिदानंद भक्तिनाथ ठाकुर की वैष्णव सारा श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ब्रह्मचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत श्री गदाधर शिवसती गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री राधा गोपी जन भगवान गोपनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की गिरिराज गोवर्धन की श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ श्री गोस्वामी प्रभुगण की भूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की मायापुर धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथ धाम की जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुंदरमय की अंगेमय यमुनेमय की कृष्ण प्रदान सिमरान की Radha Gopi Chandra Vallabha Nitaya Padapan Gaurahari Brahmotsav ki. Radha Gopi Chandra Vallabha Nitaya Padapan Gaurahari Appearance Day Mahotsav ki. Nitaya Gaurahari Premanande. All glories to single Lord. All glories to single Lord. All glories to single Lord. All glories, Shri Prince Shri Gauranga Sharoma ki. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for coming and attend gracing on this wonderful occasion. Very grateful to all the devotees. With this, they conclude the Parents' Day celebrations of their Lordship. As I said before, I know this is the 5th anniversary. 4 years ago, 2018, we invited them, and by their grace, by their causeless divine grace, they appeared. So, how many of you enjoyed the celebration? It's louder. So, human life is meant for awakening that love of God. Lord Chaitanya says, it is there in our heart. But if you consciously purify our heart by chanting the holy name together, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So this mantra, Maha Mantra, it cleanses our heart and awakens the love of God within us, Krishna Prema. So you all have come. You have made a choice to come here. Do you know the advantage? The bhakti you have accumulated in your bhakti account. It is an eternal thing to come with you. No? So Krishna will never forget your presence on his appearance day. So I request all the devotees to take this prasad. It's being served. Only one small enough. So we are starting from tomorrow. Sloka Bhagavad Gita, Sloka recital course. One sloka a day. You will get it on your cell phone. Leave your cell phone numbers. This is for children actually, but we want you to also do the memorization and recital. By doing so, you will be able to sharpen your intellect, sharpen your brain power, and you'll be able to avoid hopefully the mental violence. Okay? On top of it, you'll also get bhakti in your heart. Thank you. Please take the sign. Here's our key. Next, please take the sign. Okay, we'll end it here.